Hello and welcome to the Mountain Heritage Center's virtual program series. I'm Pam Meister, director of the Mountain Heritage Center, and I'm so glad you can join us for one of several online exhibits and programs that we've planned for spring 2021 with the goal of engaging our audiences virtually while we can't provide physical access. Today's program is a virtual tour of an art exhibit titled Ann Miller Woodford, the Artist, a Storyteller. In a series of 4 short episodes, Ms. Woodford will discuss her life and work responding to questions posed by the Mountain Heritage Center's virtual programs team, composed of 3 WCU students, our team coordinator Sarah Stanley, and interns Kyra Waite and John Farney. Ann Miller Woodford, the Artist, a Storyteller, is supported by the North Carolina Arts Council, a division of the Department of Natural and Cultural Resources. And I'd like to give a special thank you to the Jackson County Arts Council's Grassroots Grants Program for their ongoing support of the Mountain Heritage Center's arts activities.
From deep in the Blue Ridge Mountains, Ann Miller Woodford is a renowned artist who finds her niche in representational Southern genre painting. Through pride in her Appalachian African-American heritage, sometimes referred to as Afro-Latchian, she became a strong community advocate and a published author. Ann draws inspiration for her work from memories and dreams to produce impactful and moving paintings. Somewhat of a child prodigy, she began her creative journey at only 6 years old.
So I began to do my artwork, drawing with a regular lead pencil and crayons. Then my parents saw that I liked art, so they bought me a paint by numbers set. I didn't like it because it wasn't my artwork. It was somebody else put that together. So I gave that to my little sister and she used it then to paint with it.
Ann's artistic independence continued as she blossomed throughout her childhood, developing herself as an individual and as an artist.
So who I was at that time a little African-American, a little black girl with kinky hair and dark skin, and someone who was very shy. My grandpa really loved his grandkids. He said to me one day when he saw one of my projects, "Ann can do anything." My, what that did for me. Now I know I can't do anything, but all my life, all these years, I've tried to show that I could do almost anything when it comes to art.
Ann's drawing, entitled Still Life with Melons, Corn, and Fruit, is one of the earliest pieces of her artwork that has been preserved. She drew it as a part of a Learn to Draw course on television.
Every Saturday morning I would get up really early and I took the John Nagy Learn to Draw course on our little black and white television. And everybody else was asleep at that time except my dad. He was always out working somewhere. But that's how I got started. So that's basically who I am as an artist. It really shows what we had. I mean, I could have reached out in Daddy's garden and set that put that scene together right there. So it teaches me now that I think about it, that I've set up many times I've made a scene, a still life, and I've painted from that.
This early beginning with still life drawings led Ann to paint many still lifes later in her career as a celebration of the simple, beautiful things that she loves. The painting titled Still Life with Blaylock Bowl was inspired by a piece of Stephen Blaylock's pottery that Ann keeps in her personal collection. Ann was the sole 8th grade graduate from the one-room Andrews Colored School, as she had been the only student in her class level from 2nd to 8th grade. Her only option to further her education was to leave her family behind to move to Asheville to attend Allen High School. Her family supported her academic journey along with many community members from Andrews, North Carolina. Her name was printed in the Andrews newspaper every time she made the honor roll, making her friends and family very proud. Allen High School opened up a world of opportunity for Ann to further her education and to pursue her art.
The teachers there really appreciated my artwork and sometimes took me out of class to do their bulletin boards or to draw something for them or whatever. So when the time came around to do our Allanite, they asked me to be on the staff of the Allanite and asked me to do the artwork for the inside cover.
The inside cover artwork that Ann created for the Allanite yearbook showcased her skill with landscape drawings. She continued to develop her style in landscape further into her career with the painting titled Foggy Morning and Hanging Dog off the Unicoi Turnpike. During her time at Allen High School, several people took notice of Ann's talents and helped her find ways to express herself and continue advancing her skills.
The principal of the school decided that I needed some training, so there was a teacher downtown who was teaching at the Y art classes, so she paid for it, and another one, the librarian there, drove me to the classes every week. So I did have about 6 weeks of drawing training.
Ann's painting, titled The Runaway, tells the story of a time when Ann simply felt like running away from home as a child. This painting is a great example of the way that Ann incorporates childhood memories and emotions into her work.
One day, I don't know why, but it seems like at the time I was feeling very sensitive. Somebody called me nappy-headed and somebody called me black. Being called black was a very negative thing when I was growing up. Even some of the bad boys in school drew pickaninny pictures on the blackboard and wrote my name under them. It hurt me so bad, I was going to run away. But I painted this picture instead. My home was warm, we had plenty of food and lots of love, so why would I leave?
Ann frequently uses animals as symbols within her paintings. Similar to The Runaway, the painting titled Thanks, Dad tells the story of the importance of parents being there for their children through the image of a little boy and his new dog. Making the most out of what you have is all too familiar in the Appalachians. It is a mindset that becomes ingrained and one that Ann has never lost. The Runaway was painted using a set of oils that were gifted to her by the school nurse. She used a piece of cellotex from her father's construction job as a canvas. A new level of appreciation can be added to her art when understanding the value she holds in her supplies.
I always paint, even now, I still paint with a thin coating of paint because I thought I'd never get another set of oils when that lady gave me those. And it's sort of like something that just gets built into you. Whatever you had when you were a child, whatever happened to you, your experiences stay with you, even at the old age that I am now.
Ann's strong connection to her family and her community played a large role in developing her artistic style and her view of the world as an African American woman.
I have no rituals, but generally, this is something that is a part of my creativity, and I say it's God-given because I'm not just creative with my paintings, but with what I do in community development. But I wake up in the morning having had a dream of what I want to see on canvas. So I wake up and I see this, and then I have to figure out how will I put this together.
In her painting titled Friends, young Ann explored the social role that race played in her small southern community.
Daddy didn't have horses, he had mules. But horses were always like, here's the kind of thing that they used to joke about. Horses were like white people and mules were like black people. Mules worked really, really hard and were not as much appreciated as horses. Horses were glamorous to people. Everybody wanted a pony or horse. When even the little kids in our neighborhood, we wanted that. And it means to me now that I think about it for the years, how, and it has for quite a long time, it has meant that we honor white people over black people.
Considering her upbringing as an African American woman in rural Appalachia during segregation, Her feat of becoming a professional artist is something to be celebrated. Ann's journey has been anything but easy, but she found solace in her art and the process of creating.
I believe that I escaped into my art because life was not easy back in those days. For my family, for my sisters and me, life wasn't that hard. But if we looked around us to see what my mother was doing, going to work every day for very little money, and for Daddy working from before sunup to after sundown every day, I could escape from worrying about them because I was a very sensitive child. Artwork gave me a chance to live in my mind, in my vision for the future. I always wanted to be an artist.
In the next 3 episodes, we will be showcasing how Ann's paintings can capture long-lost memories, discuss important social issues, and reveal previously hidden Appalachian culture.